Hey Anna, here's this week's practice guide on video. So today we learned, because you brought into the lesson today, a masterful rendition of the one-finger chords. You were able to switch between these super well. You exceeded my expectations for the first week, honestly. So we went forging ahead and we added the rest of the fingers to there. And you have this on the sheet, so I won't go through the whole fingering with you again. But you learned how to go from the full G major to the full E minor. And then, just when we thought we were ahead of ourselves, went even further and added C major. So for this week, I'm going to give you a couple of strategies to help facilitate being able to play some of these harder chords. Because even though you have the fingerings down for all of them, just the mechanics of being able to make our fingers strong and flexible enough to play guitar, it's still developing, and that makes total sense. Your mind is forging ahead of your fingers. So I'm going to give you a couple of strategies to be able to play the G major chord. First of all, the best method to being able to play any of these chords is the ability to arch your fingers. Because what we want to do is create a ring of power in between your thumb and your fingers that happens to have the fretboard in between. So this is where all the strength comes in, and there just happens to be a fretboard right there. So when you're playing, the moment you bend your thumb and you start doing this with your fingers, you're going to lose that ring of power. You want to always have that sense of connection with your thumb. So when you're playing G major, I'm just going to give you this bird's eye view. This will lead to your success. This will lead to your downfall. Success, downfall. You got it. So here's a strategy for mastering G major. Start by being able to play with your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string and your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And when I'm plucking those both at the same time, what I'm doing is I'm plucking the 5th string with the edge of my thumb and the 2nd string with the edge of my ring finger. So it looks like this. Holding down just those 2 notes. So you see that I'm arching in the back. Even though my thumb is a little bit this way, I'm still creating that sense of power with the tip of my thumb. Then the next one, which is way harder by far, is this one. And that's where you're putting your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string and your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And to pluck those, I'm using my thumb and my pinky. Thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky. So, if you can switch between this and this, then you should definitely have no problem playing it all together. So, if when you're trying to figure out how to make this work, your hands are getting tired, just switch to this method. And I think it'll help you out. You have no problems with E minor, except that sometimes you allow your fingers to go down and mute strings that aren't supposed to be muted. So as long as you keep, I'll say it again, just keep arching your fingers, you won't accidentally mute any strings you don't intend to. And then there's our friend C major. And if you don't master C major, that's fine. The big goal for this week is being able to play G major and have all of the notes sound. But for C major, the same rules apply. One thing that I did notice to be mindful of is that naturally our ring and our middle fingers don't want to be apart. But in guitar, they have to be apart quite a bit. So the first 2 fingers of the C major chord, your ring here and your middle here, your hand is going to make it want to go like this. And that'll make it really hard to play. What you want to do is spread them out. And it'll be really uncomfortable at first. And then, of course, you just add your index finger to the first fret of the second string, and you only pluck the top 5 strings. So, for this week, I would just love to be able to hear each of these chords sounded on their own. Don't worry about switching between them quickly. Only worry about being able to sound all of the correct tones. And when your fingers get really tired but you still want to keep practicing, just go back and loop the A minor pentatonic scale. And just the act of doing that will already start to give your fingers more independence. So I think that should keep you busy for this week. Do not hesitate to email if you have any questions or if you run out of stuff to do and you want more challenges. I look forward to seeing you next week.